ratio equations. So we will have equations with fractions in them. And I'll just say it now for the 100th time. What is 7 divided by 0? Undefined. Of the 3 classes I've graded, only one person missed that.
Dave, do you care to call them out?
I will not call them out because they put no on the third question. But they made 100 on the test. So they knew what they were doing, they just got those backwards. The reason I say it up front is we're going to have to check our answers for this happening. So even before we do a problem, we'll have to check our answers to make sure we're not dividing by 0. Okay, example 1. 1/2 x plus 3/4 equals 2/3 x minus 3. 1/2 x plus 3/4 equals 2/3 x minus 3. A couple ways to do this, but I'm going to do it the same way every time, the way I like to do it, because, hey, I'm the teacher, I get to make the decisions here on how I do it. If you want to do it a slightly different way, you can. I think my way is better, and I'll tell you why. What don't you like about this problem? A whole bunch of fractions. So let's get rid of the fractions first. So what could we multiply by that would wipe out or cancel or reduce with all of those denominators? 12. So there's a least common denominator of 12, but I'm not really headed, I don't want a bunch of denominators of 12. I'm just going to multiply everybody by 12. In fact, I'm going to show it on this first one. Overkill here. But important, you got to multiply everybody by 12. Most of you will not show this step, which is fine, because it does feel a little bit overkill. But that step is to show that I have to multiply every single term by 12. The trouble that people will get into is they'll write the 12 out front, and then they'll multiply 12 by half and get 6, and then leave the 3/4. Like, not distribute the 12. So, again, most of you are not going to show that second step, but make sure your brain does that second step where everybody gets the 12. So 6x plus 3/4 of 12 is 9. This is where a little number sense would sure be helpful. But if you need to slow it down and say 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Yep, that's okay. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 36. And now we've got a simpler problem to deal with. So let's move the 6x over. Move the 36 over. Whoops, 9 plus 36. So x equals 45 halves. And then before I box that up and move on to the next one, I need to make sure that in my original problem, I'm not dividing by 0. Well, this one, the only thing in the denominators are numbers, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's good to get in the habit of, if you've got fractions, make sure that when you get to the end, you're not dividing by 0.
What if you do?
You have to throw that answer out, because it would mean it's like a domain issue. X can't be something that would make the bottom 0. So that was never going to happen on this one, because our denominators were just 2, 3, and 4. But 1 over 2a plus 3 over 8a equals 1 over 4a squared. 1 over 2a plus 3 over 8a equals 1 over 4a squared. Good catch. 8a squared. To make every denominator cancel out. So I'm not going to show that second step that I showed in the first problem. I'm just going to be careful. If I do 8a squared over 2a, I get 4a. 8 over 2 is 4. A squared over a is a. 8a squared times 3 over 8a. Let's see, the 8's cancel. Well, one of the a's cancel, and I've got 3a. And then on the other side, 2. And again, we like doing it this way because you immediately get rid of all the fractions and you got an easier problem to deal with. 7a equals 2. A equals 2/7. Is 2/7 going to be a problem when I plug it back in? No. That's not going to make anybody 0. So we're good with 2/7. Let's skip ahead here to a harder problem. 3x over x plus 4 plus 4x over x minus 3 equals 84 over x squared plus x minus 12. Three x over x plus 4 plus 4x over x minus 3 is 84 over x squared plus x minus 12. What did you say, Ryan? Factor that last term. Conveniently enough, you get the factors that have already shown up in the other parts of the problem, so that's good. So what should I multiply everybody by? X plus 4 and x minus 3. X plus 4 and x minus 3. Again, it's dangerous to not show that second step where I write that on every single term. It just takes a while to do it. Most of you are fine without it. On this first term, the x plus 4's cancel. So that leaves 3x times x minus 3. I think people make the mistake of, they see that the x plus 4's cancel, and so if they physically mark them out, then they think they're gone, and nothing shows up on that second term. That's the mistake people make. But if you can see that they cancel out, but not actually mark them out, because on the second term, the x minus 3 cancels, and that leaves x plus 4. And what happens on the right-hand side?
84.
84. The best thing of all. Everything cancels. We're just left with the numerator. Alright, so 3x squared minus 9x plus 4x squared plus 16x. I'm going to go ahead and move the 84 over because I hope this thing will factor. Let's see, 7x squared plus 7x minus 84 equals 0.
Take out a 7, but it's the same thing.
I can take out a 7, you're right. That makes life a lot easier. No, Jackson's my cheat sheet. He's helping me work this problem. 84 divided by 7? 12. And then that factors, so x plus 4 and x minus 3 equals 0. So what does that 7 contribute to my solution set? Nothing, because 7 won't be 0. So sometimes that throws people off. So x equals negative 4 and x equals 3. Yikes. Why are we yikesing? That makes... That's problems everywhere. So I have to throw out negative 4 because that makes the bottom 0. I have to throw out 3 because that makes the denominator 0. So all that work and our answer is no solution. Lovely. Is there any way we can figure that out quicker? That's a good question. I mean, it's math, so maybe there's some pattern, but I don't know, is I guess my best answer. Probably, but I don't really know that it's any quicker than what we just did. Unless you were really, really good at recognizing patterns or something. All right, hopefully you got room to squeeze one more example in. 2n minus 9 over n minus 7 plus n over 2 equals 5 over n minus 7. What do you think we should multiply by on that one? 2n minus 14 is right. I think I would leave them separate though. May as well just leave it as 2 and n minus 7. That way things will cancel easier. I mean, you're right, it is 2n minus 14, but then you're factoring what you unfactored earlier. So yes, I would multiply by 2 and n minus 7. Why don't you see if you can take that one? So n equals 7 and n equals negative 4. Yes or no?
No.
Why not?
7.
7 is a problem. I can't use 7, so I throw out 7, and my only answer is n equals negative 4. So, nothing crazy, just be careful, and don't forget to check at the end to make sure you're not dividing by 0, because 7 divided by 0 is still undefined. Crazy. All right, so your assignment is that next worksheet, all of it. Oh my goodness, it's going to go so quick, and you've still got 25 minutes left. 25 divided by 16. Let's see, what would it take? If you can do one problem in 90 seconds, you can finish.